It's about to be 10-1.
To me. In the bottom right-hand side of Death Aura, playing for Team Argo, he is the Polish Zarek player. It's Elazer.
And he is facing off against the man in the top left in the blue trunks. I believe he's sponsored by Coca, right?
Yes, Coca is like the lead sponsor of this temporary team for Denver and Marineland. It's Denver.
Yeah.
It's Denver. Okay.
I did say Denver.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
Wow, Grant. Wow, Grant.
I'm playing with the camera. I'm pretending I'm Marpy.
I mean, honestly, I can forgive you for that. Who wouldn't want to pretend they're Marpy?
I know. Living in Japan, spinning cameras for a job is... Got it all. Okay, so this game, starting off very standard, has gas ball across the board. Anything you expect from this? I think this is probably going to be our closest matchup of the day.
We saw Elazer play really interesting, a really interesting ZVZ yesterday against sort of kind of full of mutas. He went mutas both games, and
really?
The first game he went for a fake roach push, which really just caught sort of with his pants down and won the game immediately because sort of believed him when he told him that it was a roach push with his. And the second game, they both just went mutas, and Elazer just got very far ahead economically quite early on, and a little bit of a build order advantage in both games for Elazer for sure, but he played very, very well and showed an affinity for the flappy flaps. So I'm interested to see whether or not this very quick lair is going to potentially be for a quick spire.
Yeah, it is a very, very quick lair, right? 2 minutes 10 to start a lair is pretty impressive. I'm trying to think, could it be for anything else? There's no roach roaring down yet, of course.
God, this is before speed. I just realized that. It's before speed and before queens.
That's so, like the quickest possible lair.
Yeah, this is like wildly fast. This is not a 2-base lair timing. This is much faster than a normal 2-base lair timing.
Well, yeah. Okay, Reynolds going to help us, class. Nidus. There we go.
Okay, so this is actually a really old build if he goes for the Nidus. This was a thing where you could do this against Protoss about a year and a half ago. People would do that quite a lot. And I guess against Zerg back then as well. And basically the way this ends up working is that the defending player just doesn't have units. So even though you only have enough for like 2 roaches, maybe like 4 or 5 or 2 queens, 4 or 5 roaches. I believe this was originally a Bly build.
It's pretty cool, as we are, of course. It's all falling apart. Rainer is in this purely to chat crap. That's his entire purpose.
I love him so much. He's
great. He's just the best. Like, okay, so Nidus well now going down out here in the third. Elazer is been able to completely hide where this is coming in, right? I mean, you can see it. He's probably can see it from the overlord path, but this is scary.
To put another one on the high ground, right? Like this has to just a preparatory move. Like this is not really the kind of build where you want to have your main Nidus outside, but I mean there really isn't much to defend. So
there's just 8 lings.
Yeah, this is exactly what this build is supposed to do. It's supposed to.
This is so scary.
Whatsoever, and the Nidus in the main actually buys Elazer time to get positioned in the natural mineral line, and now, well, what is there here to defend? Kinda nothing, Grant. There's a
even these roaches down on the low ground outside the natural here finding a lot of damage. Drones are falling, but actually not too many. Queens are transfusing, trying to keep the Cypher alive. Now the drone count's starting to fall down pretty rapidly. A few more units coming out of the Nidus, trying to surge in. It does look like maybe Denver doing a decent job here of cleaning this up. Yeah, he's going to be able to completely clean this up when all is said and done. The units go back into the Nidus and back off. Worker count's even, but I mean, the tech does favor Elazer in that he has roaches, he has lair. There is no ling speed, so these fast lings could be very tricky.
Denver also already has +1 nearly done. So
and a third.
Roaches, that's going to be a big deal. Yeah, that just didn't really work the way that the way that Elazer was planning. And I have to agree with our analyst Rainer here. Nidus is not it in this game, at least. Unfortunate for Elazer. I feel like he got himself into a really nice position there. Just wasn't quite able to produce the damage output necessary to close out the game.
What is happening? Why is Rainer randomly in this game just chatting? Okay.
We need an analyst, man.
Now, the speedlings are going to be able to deny the third for such a large amount of time. Elazer is going for another Nidus up here, northeast.
Wild take from Rainer. Might end up being correct, as we do see a pretty committed Nidus coming up here to the
Queens
top
again.
side. A lot of Queens, a lot of transfuse energy. Is it enough for Elazer to break through? There really aren't that many roaches in production. There's only 6 in production so far, and a lot more transfuse energy here.
Yeah, and +1 was cancelled. What the fuck? Rainer's a psychic. He's so good at this video game. +1 is cancelled.
Big tip from Rainorito. Indeed. And this actually may end up working out well for Elazer. He just has so much in the way of transfuse energy. And not spending any time on this third. He identifies that he cannot allow Denver to get up enough roaches to hold this.
Oh, he's already in the natural, though. This is looking a little bit scary. Now, Denver is up in supply, but he's so far down in army supply. Drone's coming off the line. There's so much transfuse energy here as well to go in on the roaches. And that is what we can see now. We do have defender's advantage here for Denver, but the Nidus pretty much taking that away. The Ling's trying to swarm back. There's still so many queens standing right now for Elazer. Elazer taking a 20 supply lead, and that failed, that fake even +1 and the initial failed Nidus seem to be working because more queens will come through this Nidus worm. GG. Elazer takes game 1.
Rainer said that Nidus is not it. Maybe the
Nidus
first Nidus
was it.
isn't, but apparently Nidus, at the end of the day, was in fact it.
I'm going to message him that, don't worry. I'm stealing your joke. Where is he? Nidus was in fact it. Okay, we got him. We got him.
Got it, boys.
Rainer Cocast, he's eating pizza. I did offer, but he just had a pizza delivered.
All right, that's game number 1. Do we have a game number 2? I don't think so, right?
No, we don't see the maps here.
Okay.
Denver. Apparently, Denver forgot to play the game. I make that mistake often. Okay, Rainer will not be in game 2. He's going to eat his pizza. We go on to Ice and Chrome now.
Ice and
yeah, so another decent sized map.
His fake roach push into a very, very quick muta build. I'm interested to see if he busts that out again, but I would imagine likely not, because it is a very much mind game build, and Denver almost definitely would have watched the games that Elazer played yesterday. So it's a very, very important match, this one here, while Denver is still mathematically in the running for this, for advancing. He needs a bit of a miracle in the Aquaron versus Euthermal game, but he's still technically alive. So he needs to try his absolute best to win this game here. So Elazer, he's sitting pretty at 5-1. He's guaranteed to advance. The question for him is top 2 or third, fourth. So he's going to want to make sure that he can get that winner's bracket spot as well. A lot on the line for these guys, and we'll see if Elazer decides to bust out something cheeky once again in game number 2.
Yeah, now moving in. Thank you for letting me know about the sound, guys. I wasn't aware that it was so messed up, but I have now adjusted, and hopefully we'll be good. I turned myself down and him up. So we now move into our next map. Let's get into it. Elazer currently does have that lead, and in the bottom left, the man of the hour, the man we are speaking of, the Polish Zerg player representing Argo Esports. It's Elazer.
Facing off against the blue Zerg player in the top right, representing... All right, hold on. I'm going to try to do the French pronunciation. Coca Authentique Pépite.
Ooh.
It's Denver.
I like it. So, no very early pulls from either player. It does look like we're going to be seeing hatcheries all around. Nothing exceptional. If you're a Elazer, maybe you would be considering going for something a little bit cheeky here, as you do have that one map to throw away. Now, we don't know whose map choice was what, so it's kind of hard to tell. Although, so far, we've seen maps that we would have seen no matter who picked them anyway, because we just see the same 3 maps over and over. Same 4 maps over and over.
Are you trying to tell me that people don't like playing on Submarine, Grant?
I can inform you that people don't like playing on Submarine.
I actually like Submarine.
So do I.
Pretty. All right.
Just...
So far,
no.
everything looks normal so far.
Yep.
I'm going to have a wild take here, Grant.
Hit me.
Elazer's going to get speed before his lair.
That's a wild take. If he doesn't and does the same build again. Can you imagine?
Well, he just gets speed for the entire game. It's like, plays a macro game without link speed.
Yeah, man. I'm all for it. It's like the equivalent of when Protoss doesn't get warp gate, you know? And
that's a very normal thing that happens often.
I mean, Rotterdam streams all day, every day, so...
I mean, he also doesn't do that often.
No, I know. Now...
He gets it as a formality a lot of the time, you know?
He's doing it. He's getting speed. Both players are...
I'm a god, dude. I'm super
I know.
smart.
Not quite Rain or Lever yet.
Last game, but really, I mean, I'm the one with the true insight here.
Now, Raynor has gone, I'm afraid, folks. He was only just hanging out for that first game. Now he's going to eat his meal of pizza that was 3 minutes away. He just wanted to waste some time and watch some StarCraft because he's a passionate young Italian stallion. But now we are back into the meat of this, and that is Elazer versus Denver. First few lings coming out for either player here. Actually, Elazer opting not to make any lings at all, so he will be playing pretty blind in terms of actual scouting capability. But Queens are pretty good for any of his defense. His first couple of lings have now popped out as well, so that's all good. We can see Baneling nests coming from both. This is very, very cookie-cutter ZVZ so far on a bigger map. Nothing exceptionally weird just yet. Queen counts, we do see... But Denver's going up to his 3rd, a little bit quicker here than Elazer, who is opting to add on those extra lings.
Okay, so the fast burrow out of Denver is kind of cool. This is not a thing we really see that often in ZVZ. Generally, burrow will come into play when you have a decent number of roaches. When you're getting +2, you'll throw down tunneling claws and burrow. This is kind of interesting, because it's not early enough to deny a 3rd with any kind of burrowed ling or anything. I really wonder what he's going to be doing with this. He's playing pretty on the list.
Is it going to be landmines?
Oh, like... Yeah,
it's so hard versus speed ling to do.
It really does look like it, but also kind of why? Like Baneling might not do much against most Zerg units.
I mean, the Roach one
this is a weird one. I'm actually really... This is... I don't know. We'll have to just kind of wait and see. It does look like landmines, but...
It does. +1 as well coming in for the melee. No Roach Warren is down across the board yet. Quite a quick lair here again from Elazer. Not the quickest, of course, as he did get it 2 minutes earlier in the last game. But we will try and keep an eye on what is going on. The Baneling currently sitting just up here to the north. We have a lot of lings coming in right now. Are they just going to burrow, unburrow? Is that going to be the play here? That's a lot of Banelings coming across the map. We do see Banelings on either side.
Right now, Denver at just 36 workers to the 50 of Elazer. He is extremely committed. He has burrowed that one Baneling. He's trying to land a little bit of a hit on it. It's not really working so far. Let's see if he can get a little bit of a bait off so far. No, not really. Oh, actually, there's a couple of Banelings burrowed there. So far, we haven't really seen them come into play, but if he lands a big connection, that's going to be a massive deal. Yeah. And it'll look really cool.
He's trying really hard. He's going to be able to get the Patchery, maybe. He's now going to take the Ling fight. +1 is not yet complete here for Denver. Now, as we've previously said, Denver is very, very invested. He's down 13 workers. This burrow, it's not really worked.
No, he also showed it there as well. He unburrows the Banelings that were sitting under the Overlords. So now... Elazer is aware of the tech at the very least. He gets a good connection on those drones, but nothing to actually finish them off. He's going to try to get a few lings into the main. The +1 is nearing completion, but it's still not quite done. Lings going into the natural mineral line, getting a couple of kills.
Quite a few kills here.
So many.
There's a lot of Banelings remaining here for Elazer, and he shouldn't take any further. Oh my god! Well, that's that attack over.
Yeah, that was a pretty massive connection right there. We do have a couple of Lings just in and around the main. Oh, yeah, unburrowed the Lings in the main and is morphing them into Banelings. Let's see if he can make this work. The third hatchery is still alive, but it's very, very low. Denver with +1 now has the opportunity to continue pushing, to continue trying to apply some pressure. And here we go. The Banelings in the main are waddling on in. No reaction from Elazer.
Oh, 10 drones.
10 drones down in an instant. And that is going to almost close the gap between the worker counts essentially by itself. A lot of Queens still positioned out here up front. A lot of Banelings being able to zone, but they're not effectively managing to keep these Lings out of the main. More Lings streaming into the main. Not quite enough here to really hold it effectively. The Banelings forced to go back towards that main, allowing the Lings to pick off the Queen at the front.
There's Lings in the natural. He's got so many kills. He's picked up 4 drones, I think, at this point. It's 1 Ling, and he just keeps going. Finally, a Queen will pop up and clean him up. But 28 drones have been killed by Denver. This build was so odd. A big there as well. This entire series has been so strange. But Denver putting in a very, very good show of things right now. Both players have +1, but there are 7 Mutmuts on the way right now here for Elazer. And they're going to make all the difference, because what is the answer? What's the Queen count? Okay, Denver already has 4, is producing 2 more.
The real question, this is now essentially even more all-in. We need to have Denver do absolutely crippling damage before these mutas can really go across the map. The problem with the mutas is that they don't really have that much damage output, right? Like, they don't kill these Lings very quickly. So the Lings are going to continue being able to stream on in, and this is not a terrible position for Denver just yet. He's trying to go for the third, maybe not necessarily the best call. I feel like the drone lines might be the better decision there, as we do have Elazer slowly but surely stabilizing. Denver, though, with another wave of Lings. Is he able to put another wrench in the works? Is he able to do more damage? He's got a couple Lings in the main, going after a couple more drones, but good micro there from Elazer, able to keep those alive. And now Elazer is beginning to stabilize well and truly for real. And, I mean, having these mutas will not allow him to necessarily apply too much pressure, because the upgrades on those Lings means that the mutas kind of are on defensive duty still. But regardless, he's got a great advantage in the tech, and he's got that third base still alive.
Yeah, the third standing strong. Now, Denver behind this has eked out that worker lead. He does have a lair of his own, although no tech thrown down for that lair just yet, opting to instead get +1 Carapace and continue his ground armies upgrades. Lots and lots of Queens. There's going to be 10 Queens out.
I don't actually like this attack from Elazer at all. He's out of position to deal with the counterput from Denver. He's forced to come back with his entire army. That's going to be buying Denver quite a lot of time to continue his own tech as he gets this Nidus up. But more importantly, it allows him to apply even more pressure in the main mineral line. 3 more workers going down. A ton of mining time denied. We're now up to almost 40 worker kills in this game. And this has bought Denver, most importantly, a ton of time for this Nidus. We have so many Queens on the map now. 10 are out on the map.
11 nearly.
11 nearly, and that's going to be an easy win for Denver if he can get this Nidus up.
Yeah, now the Nidus does need to get up, of course, quite close. Oh, the third's going to get sniped. That's a lot of production going down. Of course, Elazer doesn't really have a lot of money anyway, but he would like to have the Queen production possibly. Every unit that he can get is going to be so important, because this Nidus is coming up right now. Where is it? It's in the main. Oh, it's not been spotted.
Yeah, this is the death blow here by Denver. I don't really know what Elazer can do to deal with this. There's not enough units on the map. Tons of units streaming into the main. The Queens, the Ladies, and everything is going to fall. Barely any drones make it out alive. The army of Elazer is going to respond a little bit too slowly. The mutas opting for a counter push instead. They will find an undefended main, but by the time they get to the natural, spores will be up, and the Banes morphing in the main will effectively end any chance that Elazer's Lings have of dealing with this push, as if they could already deal with the Queens. The Banelings aren't even really necessary, to be totally honest, and I love what he's actually doing. There's a counter push and a base trade from Elazer. So you know what Denver does? Loads the Banelings into the Nidus, sends them home.
Yeah, that's pretty good, but of course these, yeah, there's 2 spores on this base, right? So it should be pretty safe. I think 2 is all he needs at this point. These drones, borrow them. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Save them. Banelings, goodbye. All of the Lings go down. Meanwhile, the Queens continue to wreak absolute havoc. He could even send a couple of Queens home, maybe. Is the Nidus one been taken
honestly, out? I feel like it is a little bit sloppy that Denver didn't burrow some of the drones, but it's just not anywhere near the mistake. I mean, it's just not anywhere near the mistake that Elazer needed to win that game. Brilliant play by Denver there with the Nidus in the end, and Elazer going for a little bit of a ballsy transition into the mutas, especially with the Spire and the natural. Denver was able to see that very, very early on and decided, all right, this is my best way to combat that. And he had plenty of time to prepare. Great game by Denver. The Burrow, not really being the most impactful thing, but we saw him get a couple cute uses out of it here and there. So I understand what he's going for with it.
To be fair, those lings that burrowed in the main and turned into banelings eventually killed like what 10 workers and started the beginning of the end. So I kind of think it did work in a strange way. I mean, it's something you could probably only pull off once in a series. But it is cute. It's nice to see these players on the final day here mixing it up.
Yep.
I've definitely lost this Pokemon battle. We're on forfeit.
All right, Pillars of Gold. Shocking. A map that we have definitely not ever seen on this stream before.
Oh, yes. So we haven't seen Golden Wall today once on any of the streams, neither Submarine. And this
Golden Wall is like, you know that SpongeBob meme where the guy's ordering from
No.
And he's like, "Oh, daring, aren't we?" today. When you don't know that meme?
That's how I feel.
Right. That's how I feel about Golden Wall. It's like you have your standard 3 things. So it's like, oh, I'd like to order a Pillars of Gold. I'd like to order, I'll have 1 Pillars of Gold, please, and 1 Eternal Empire, and I'll take a Golden Wall. It's like, ooh, daring. A map that we sometimes see.
Yeah.
Not in this series though. We're going for Pillars of Gold. You know what I want? I want them to make a gigantic map, like this huge map called Pillars of Golden Wall, and it's just both.
It's literally just one next to the other.
Yes.
Like, so you can just run to the end of Pillars of Gold and you're at the beginning of Golden Wall. And 1 spawns in the bottom left of Pillars of Gold and 1 in the bottom right of Golden Wall. Yes. Oh my, I'd go literally 8 Nexus before Gate. I mean, I do that in team games anyway. And we are getting into the game. Of course, we are just there having some fun in the downtime. Now, our Zerg player in the top right representing Argo Esports. He won the first map, but wasn't able to pull out the second. The Polish Zerg Elazer.
We're having some fun in the downtime, but you know who says no fun allowed? Elazer. What a build. Not even a 13-12, a 12-11.
Wow.
Trying to get a quick win over the man in the bottom left. Representing Coca Authentique Pepite. I think that's at least a 7 out of 10. It's the Blue Zerg player. It's Denver.
Super sick of Coca to be sporting these players. He's also apparently a rapper. Did you see that most recent one?
I misheard you. I heard you. What I thought you said was, "I'm super sick of Coca." I was like, "Wow,
no, I love
really
Coca.
Rude thing to say."
Coca, Funka, those boys are wicked. They're so fun, but my god, do they party? It's too much. Yeah. It's too much. Now, Overlord is going to see that it doesn't see an Overlord, which is a strange thing to say, and it may mean that the Lings are able to slip by unseen for a good amount of time here. It is Hat Gas Pool here from Denver, so he's going to have a pretty miraculous defense. Now, it can be done. We've seen it be done in a few different ways, and the first thing is seeing this coming as early as possible. Is Elazer going to slide around? Yes, he is. Okay, so he's not going to take that quick path straight down the middle. He's going to go around the Overlords here. The second Overlord is also seeing the position of the second Overlord, so we should see a swing round pretty heavily to the south, and that's exactly what it's going to be. Now, 2 Lings come out. They just missed that Overlord. Oh my gosh, that was so close. Baneling Nest is on the way here for Elazer as well, of course, as you do with a 13-12 or 12-11. Spawning Pool starting to finish up for Denver. If he can see this in time, maybe he's got a chance. There's no drones, right? No,
not at all. And now we're finally getting to the moment where he's going to see the lack of a natural, and Elazer shows some Lings, but it's already a little bit too late to really have a lot of time. Lings into the natural already here. The spine starts up in the main, and Denver just abandoned the natural. I think that's the correct call here. He doesn't have really units on the way. He doesn't really have much of a way to hold the natural. Elazer is not buying the bait. He's going into the main. He's trying his best, forcing a cancel on 1 spine already, and now I think he'll take the guaranteed damage and at least go for the natural until he's got a few more Banelings.
Yeah, the Banelings, of course, providing so much support here. And also the threat at this mineral line. The Queen is going to try and poke away at them. One of the Banes does go down here, but there are 2 more about to pop. Second queen is going to pop out of the natural. She's completely surrounded and will fall down immediately. The natural is completely abandoned here by the blue Zerg player. The Baneling's getting ever closer to that mineral line. The splits, very, very good here, but it does look like they're going to find some damage. 4 go down. The spine is actually very, very low, but there are 2 spines up. This could have been worse. It's fair to say.
It could have been much worse. That's nowhere near enough damage for Elazer. He needs to find more. And with 3 spines up, I feel like Denver is in a great position here. Elazer has not even invested in a queen. He is finally going to try to drop an expansion down, and he's going to try to get what would have been the guaranteed damage of the natural expansion. But it might just be a little bit to do that as well. He just doesn't really have the link count. A couple of these spines are going to come and try to burrow down onto the low ground, and they're going to be able to push this away. The Lings, considering for a second, maybe going in towards the main again, but I think you remembered that there was another spine.
Yeah, but it's got like 1 hit point.
But
the spine in the main has like, such little health.
I don't think get it though. Not with the drone micro.
Yeah, that's a lot of banelings. No drones have been made by Elazer.
4 banelings on the low ground. The spines aren't in the best position to defend this, but this is so much money that's going into just killing this natural, while Elazer is just sitting on 11 workers at home. Even killing the natural will not put Elazer ahead.
No. And the banelings come back in. This is so many resources being invested into these banelings. A couple of them even going into the natural here. But of course, the drone count still so heavily favors Denver. He's going to be able to retake his natural real quick as well. These Lings continue to be a real nuisance trying to get the block. They're going to go for an immediate cancel here. And they may be able to get it, actually, with some cute little micro here. Yeah, this is nice from Elazer getting a second cancel. That's more of what he needs to do. He's going to head up into the main now. He does have about 10 Lings here. He's going to get a little bit of damage. Another drone does go down. Only 5 killed in total, though, Pengy. And I'm not certain, when all is said and done, if he gets another queen, it's starting to look a little better here for Denver. Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, Elazer, especially at the end here, has absolutely done enough to not necessarily be ahead, but to be okay with his position.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's behind at all. I actually think he is a little bit ahead, especially with the queen pick off. Just a lack of injects is a big deal. Picking off the Baneling Nest here is another really nice pick off, and just at the very tail end of this push, Elazer has made a lot of nice small moves that are really adding up to a pretty sizable advantage.
Drone.
Yeah, I mean, getting another drone there. Elazer is about to have his second queen too, and a huge supply block on Denver's side of things. He is in a lot of trouble here. Just so many small victories at the very end for Elazer, allowing him to really pull quite far ahead in this game.
Yeah, everything's starting to look pretty good for Elazer. It was a little bit scary for a second there, but he was relentless with his attack, and it worked out for him. The Baneling Nest for Denver does come back down, but you even have to consider that there were 3 spines made, so Denver had to use his drones that way. It's not been a great go of things in this map here for Denver. Ling's trying to get in. They will get a good scout, a good read here of his opponent, and actually
he got a drop. One of them is super low. Notice it. Oh, he didn't notice. Oh, he still gets 2 drones though. It's a nice little win. Oh my god, dude, Denver, it's so low. Just look at the drone, please. That's bothering me so much.
He's good.
Oh, he noticed. Oh, he missed it. Oh, god damn it, Denver.
I'll be sending him an angry email. He's off my Christmas card list. Now, more drones coming out here for both of the boys. And we can see that Elazer has a very slight lead. The lair is going to be first grabbed here by Elazer, who is trying to get his own queen count up there. He didn't produce any for a long time, but now both of them having 3 queens at similar times, lair at similar times. And to be honest, we've kind of stabilized in a very similar position, where Elazer is probably slightly ahead with his quicker third, with a couple of extra drones. But really, when all is said and done, the game is still, it's not over.
No, not at all. And Denver, he is not, I mean, he's not in a comfortable position, right? But at the same time, he's also stabilizing, like you said. He's gotten himself up to about 33 workers, and now finally starting to get his tech rolling. He's got his lair on the way. He's got his Roachborn coming up. He's got an Evo chamber coming in. And actually might end up starting +1 faster. There's no Evo chamber on the map yet for Elazer, so it is going to be nice for Denver to at least have that one advantage to sort of fall back on. You really, like, things start to look really hopeless when you're behind in every single way, right?
Yes.
So having that one advantage is going to feel good once he realizes that that is, in fact, a thing. And even just the Roachborn timing is a little bit faster. So how exactly Denver decides to play this is going to be interesting. Does he try to get to sort of compensate for his situation? And Elazer's the one who's going to get aggressive again with another Nidus.
Yeah, I mean,
this Oh god, I kind of feel like this might be him overestimating how far ahead he is.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I feel like he doesn't realize the position he's maybe in. No, but I mean, seeing the spine, seeing all these queens, seeing the wall, seeing +1 on the way, and roach speed on the way, he should surely be able to tell that Denver really is in a pretty decent spot here. I mean, workers Denver is slightly ahead, of course, because he's not producing that Nidus. We see 7 roaches, so he's going to be able to match the roach numbers. Plus, he'll have queens at home for defender's advantage. I know the Nidus takes away from defender's advantage to some degree, but it doesn't completely take it away.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance he gets a Nidus up in the main. There's already really good vision around the main from Denver. Yeah. He's fallen for it once before in this series. He's not going to fall for it again. And I feel like the best thing that Elazer is going to end up being able to do here is deny a third base and maybe just contain him, which is not a bad thing to do at all. But a Nidus is pretty expensive. It's a bit of an expensive way to do that. Let's see if he's able to distract Denver enough to actually get this Nidus up in the main, though.
Yeah, now all of the units for Denver are actually retreating. He is just going to give this base up, and I don't hate it. Now the Nidus in the main has been attempted. Queen already on the way, but there's nothing else right now. Okay, finally a few roaches on the way, and they do look like they are going to make it. The Nidus should go up here, but I don't know if enough units. If Queen come out in time and can transfuse it, no, nothing coming out. He's not gonna commit to it. Instead, committing to the fights here at the front. Queens have joined the battle.
Also have 3 roaches against 4, losing those for not quite free, but effectively a very, very good trade there for Denver. And he's going to lose even more resources with this failed secondary Nidus coming on up. Denver, where are you going? Oh my god, okay. Oh, that might have actually been a big brain bait, but I think it was actually a misclick. But we'll say it was a bait. It might have been a bait. Denver has abandoned this attack. He's going to allow Denver to expand now. Overall, resources lost pretty even for the entire game. And 2-1 is now on the way for Denver. And this is now becoming a bit of an issue for Elazer. Elazer's just started his +1. If he's down 2 upgrades, even with a smaller army, Denver may be able to make very, very good trades happen. And we actually see him trying to collapse on Denver's small roach force here. Denver actually has a lot of units across the map. This is a little bit of an awkward situation. The Nidus is going to be very, very nice. It's going to allow Elazer to pull back home quite quickly, but still, roaches into the natural, allowing Denver to get a little bit of economic stabilization going on. He's going to be able to do some counter damage, I guess would be the best way to phrase that. And Elazer is going to be able to ward him away.
Yeah, the third was taken out as well here. Lots and lots of roaches on the way from either player, but Elazer does have significantly more right now, sitting at 6 extra, and with 5 more in the production tab, that's only going to continue to rise. But the upgrades, I know we've said it, and we'll say it time and time again, the upgrades are very scary. They do allow trades to get pretty out of control. When you have a 2 upgrade lead specifically, it becomes very, very difficult for the player with the lesser upgrades to be efficient. Now, if we see some Ravages, maybe some Biles, there's a possibility. Great Concaves, finding reinforcements and finding better fights, of course. Anything can happen. A few Lings here to protect the Nidus down here in the very southeast. For now, though, Elazer is sitting back. He hasn't tried to take his 4th just yet, feeling content that he knows his opponent does not have a 3rd. He has now retaken it in this triangle position. We do see a couple of roaches that have managed to make a run by here. This is cute. Another fight coming in, Penguin.
This is such an anti-timing by Denver. His +2 is not ready yet. I guess that also means that the +1 is not ready for Elazer. So I guess at the end of the day, he does still have that advantage. I don't know if this is a necessary push, though. A lot of roaches here for Elazer, and it doesn't look like a
lead. I'm very surprised to see Denver back off. The roach number's pretty even. He has a 3 upgrade lead. Now it becomes 2. But still, he would have won that fight almost certainly, right? Now the fight at the front is looking pretty good here for Denver in terms of the defense as his reinforcements stream in. Elazer is pushing in multiple angles right now, but Denver's going to be able to bring his army together. And as long as he, keeps in range of the spine and things, I'm not too worried for Denver. Sure, he's down in army supply a little bit, and a lot of his is in the production tab, but it is still that's so heavily upgraded for. And Denver is going to be able to hold on now with his 3rd base. He's up in workers, up in upgrades. It's getting a little scary. Roach
and he's starting up. Actually, it's Elazer that's starting up +2 and tunneling claws. So things are going to be evening out a little bit soon because, of course, Denver not able to go into +3 until he has Hive Tech. It's not something that we're going to be seeing in the near future. So I feel like Denver really does need to try to take advantage of this window that he's built for himself. And he looks like he's going to try to do that. He's got a good amount of Ravagers here to bolster those roach damage output. Many more Ravagers than Elazer, in fact, who's only sitting on 2.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be a good opportunity for Denver to try to just break Elazer's back, but there is a Nidus coming up in the main behind this, and Elazer's going to pounce on half of this before the surround is ready.
Yeah, now we do see that the surround is starting to build up a little bit here, and the Ravager count very, very good. Elazer being very intelligently. Sue once said that you should always engage a flank on its weaker side, and that's what Elazer did. But the numbers have just been pretty overwhelming here for Denver. You can see his units are just trading so efficiently. The bios are pretty good as well, although the counter bios are so nice. Numbers starting to dwindle on both sides. It does look like with Queens reinforcing that Argo Elazer will hold on. The Nidus is going to be cleaned up at the other side of the map. A few units going to pounce out, actually. Quite a few, and it does look like this will be cleaned up. A second Nidus is going to be attempted. Very, very scrappy ZVZ here. We do see it, yeah, so Denver's going to clean Elazer up. Oh, the burrowed roach. So there's nothing that can spot this. They're going to be able to get into this mineral line, unburrow, pick up a few kills, burrow, and continue to hide this, the Overseer nowhere near, and now we see Elazer going. He's going to hit multiple places at multiple times. This is looking a little bit scary.
Masterclass from Elazer right now, and how to just tear your opponent apart on the defensive with these tunneling claws roaches. And I mean, he's got a great amount of units right there by the third as well. Denver just not in enough places at once. It's so hard to split your units because you never really know how many roaches are going to pop out at each location. You just kind of have to guesstimate, and it's such an uncomfortable position as a defending player. Elazer is going to be forced back here at the third at the very least, and it looks like most of the roaches in the natural have been cleaned up, but there's still just a bunch of the roaches just sharking around, 2 in the natural, 2 in the main, and well, Denver looking like he's going to be able to make a decent hold. +2 is done now for Elazer, but he still doesn't have that Carapace upgrade, and still a good concave here for Denver. Looks like maybe a little bit of an overextension from Elazer this time around, but more roaches streaming out of that Nidus Swarm.
Yeah, supplies staying dead even despite all of this. Now, in terms of workers killed, 29 to 17 in favor of Elazer, killing more here. Oh, but his army getting collapsed upon. It's been absolutely pounced on. Denver doing so much damage right now. Workers are going down rapidly as well for Denver, so he really needs to take a great fight. He's up almost double the army supply. Can he snowball this?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know what Elazer deal with this at home. He doesn't have that much in production. He's got a few roaches that have popped out, but he doesn't have a ton of spines or anything. He doesn't have... He only has 1 queen. He doesn't even have transfuses at all. Or injects at this point. Roach Warren goes down, and Denver looks like, at the end of the day, a bit of an overextension from Elazer is going to cost him, and Denver should be able to make this map his.
Wow, incredible there. He lost so many drones at home. You can see he is continuing to lose drones, losing almost all of them down to just 25, but his army at the front is just overwhelmingly powerful. Only Lings in the production tab right now from Elazer, and sure, those are Lings with speed, but they do not have any upgrades, and they'll be going up against +2 roaches, and GG, Denver with the upset.